I grew up outside. I grew up hunting, fishing, hiking, camping. You know, some of my favorite memories are me and my family camping and waking up in the morning and having coffee when I was 8 years old, which is strange, you know, by the fire.
Not in Texas.
Oh yeah. But those are some of the most beautiful memories I have, you know, watching me and my brother watching the hummingbirds, you know, around our campsite and things like that. So it was always a natural thing for me to work in conservation, but I never put that together until a few years ago, I guess, when I got involved with Stewards. So yeah, I mean, it was my entry point. Stewards is my entry point, and now I'm, you know, a conservation leader.
Welcome to the BunkHaus podcast, broadcasting from the confluence of outdoor recreation and nature connectivity. I'm your host, Josh Crumpton, founder of Spoke Hollow Outdoors and the Los Salvaje food truck. My life as a rancher, guide, foodie, and conservationist has provided the opportunity to meet some really great people. And the BunkHaus is where we get to introduce them to you. In this episode of the BunkHaus podcast, we talk with Katie Spurgin, the engagement manager for Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, and top steward of Stewards of the Wild, a young professionals program designed to foster the next generation of conservation leaders in Texas. I'm also joined by my co-host, the pro drink slinger, hunting fishing guide, and one of my best friends, the man with the shaker, Davin Topel, a.k.a. Whiskey T. Together, we visit with Katie about the path she walked to find herself working for Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation. We dive into the Stewards programs and various activities, hiking, hunting, fishing, conservation, education, big dove hunts, and other great stuff. As always, with that said, let's get this thing started. We're here with Katie Spurgin.
Hello.
Hello.
Engagement manager at Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation. Got my man Whiskey T.
Hey.
On the red couch. And Katie, tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis with the Texas Parks and Wildlife. Actually, tell us about Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation.
Sure. Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation is the official nonprofit of Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, and we raise funds, private philanthropy for the department, and we try to support their mission. And I am lucky and get to supervise the Stewards of the Wild program, which is we have the goal of trying to get young professionals aged 21 to 45 engaged in the outdoors.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Like today, we got to go on a quail hunt.
Yes, we
Spoke
did.
Hollow Outfitters.
Yeah.
It was great.
You know, Davin and I have been working with the Stewards for a while and love the program. You can hear some dogs munching in the background. Maybe you can't. We're in the bunkhouse.
Rowdy.
Rowdy. Hunt them up.
Those are my boys. Those
Yeah,
are my dogs.
we've been fortunate enough to be able to work with the foundation and the Stewards for the past 4 years or so. I was pretty excited to be one of the Untamed for the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're really lucky in Texas to have an organization like the foundation. We're a complicated state.
Very.
We've got a lot of private land here, and our Parks and Wildlife Department has a very challenging task of managing the resources of Texas, while only 3%-ish of the land is public. So that means that there's a lot of crossover that happens between communication between TPWD and private landowners. And
exactly.
The foundation does definitely play a role.
Oh, yeah.
In bringing private funds to help further the mission.
Right.
And I think even beyond that, also a conduit for communication.
Oh, I 100% agree.
How long have you been with the foundation?
I've been with the foundation for a year now. Nice. A little over a year.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
What were you doing before the foundation? Before
I worked for the foundation, I taught high school journalism for about 4 or 5 years. It was wonderful, but the education system is a difficult system to be a part of.
Where were you teaching at?
I taught at Lake Highlands High School and Hebron High School up in the DFW Metroplex.
Oh, nice. But you were in Austin recently.
I
Right?
was. I moved to Austin when I got the job with the foundation. Loved Austin. I love it. I miss it.
Yeah.
I moved back to Dallas to be close to my family and friends.
Just recently, right?
Just 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Which has its, benefits.
Yeah.
We moved to Texas to be closer to family, and it's, I mean,
Oh yeah. I have to say there's just nothing that can replace your people,
Yeah.
So it's important.
I have 5 kids. I sometimes try to move further from family. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, my children, each and every one of you.
Don't listen.
Before we
Even if I
get too
forget your
far into
names.
this, part of our show, we've always got a little mixed up cocktail, and Davin has whipped us up something special here, and I want you to sort of tell us about it. Don't give us the recipe, just tell us the spirit of it, and then everybody can kind of tune in and find the YouTube where the recipe will be.
Yeah, so what we're drinking today is the Hog's Knuckle. This was quite literally just made up on the fly for the show.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. No pun intended. But it's a play on the bee's knees. But it's made with Totem, which is a spirit that I make from nuts, fruits, berries, botanicals found around the Texas area, as well as the leg of a hog. And it's a very neat distillation practice that I adopted from Oaxaca. And I'll explain a lot more of that in the video. But it's simple. That Totem, lemon, and then I made a honey syrup with cinnamon and a little bit of allspice. It's a very
We will not tell you the exact measurements. You're gonna have to go and check out the video. And Davin was recently, you were at the Haller Brothers.
That's right.
Right before we recorded this, which this will probably air
yeah?
much further after that. But you did a cocktail for them too, right?
That's right. Yeah. So they just recently, again, this was, it's March right now. So they just, Haller Brothers just released their 2023 spring launch and asked me to make a custom cocktail for them for their launch party. One of their themes for their clothing line was air and sea. So I made an air and sea foam daiquiri. I'll be doing a video on that as well, but it was kind of a neat play on a daiquiri that had kind of a briny sea foam on top. It's
good.
got some gastronomic elements to it. But it's just fun to create cocktails for creative people. I really kind of thrive on just seeing what people are doing and just kind of feed off that energy, and I love doing it. So.
If you were a cocktail, what would you be?
Oh gosh, really? Well,
you
okay.
are invited back so many times.
Oh my God,
I love this.
I'm going to start a podcast just based on that.
That's a great idea.
So Totem is basically what I feel is a reflection of myself in a spirit, right?
Okay.
So I distill Totem. I'm an outdoorsman. I'm a hunter. I appreciate the outdoors. And so that's what Totem kind of is a reflection of myself in a bottle. And I was very lucky to work at a distillery that allowed me to put something as odd as that together. I'll be honest. The first time I brought it up to the board, I got crickets. Crickets were playing in the background.
So you're going to put meat in the booze.
That's right. Yes.
Meat booze.
Yes.
Meaty booze.
But they were okay with it, or maybe I just made it and they were okay with it after the story came out.
Now you're going to have to really dive in. When we do the video of the cocktail, now you're going to have to really dive in why that spirit is you.
Yes.
What would you be? What kind of cocktail would you be?
That's tough.
That's First really one, tough. You just got to roll with
it.
We won't
just
hold it to you forever.
A really dirty gin martini.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Can we not air that?
Sorry, I love it. That's perfect.
It's in there.
Off the top of the head. That's like, perfect.
It's spicy and it's direct.
Nice.
Yeah, I like
it.
So I was thinking that like the first thing that came to my mind is probably not what I am, but I just say stale beer. Like I'm just stale beer. Yeah.
Stale beer.
No, that's not true. I'm champagne. Just champagne.
You are pretty bubbly.
Just champagne, just bubbly, and I'll just go with anything.
You go well with OJ.
Yeah, with everything.
Yeah.
I just whatever, like fried chicken, champagne, caviar, champagne.
What kind of party are you throwing? Doesn't matter.
Corn dogs,
Champagne's gonna be there.
champagne. kind of celebratory, but also like good mixed with a little orange juice, whatever.
Yeah.
Haller Brothers has been integrated to the foundation on and off again. And
they are one of our partners. Yeah. I've actually just recently talked to Rick. We're just trying to figure out how best we can work together.
Yeah. Rick was kind of part of the original Untamed thing. And that's what I've really appreciated over the years with the foundation is watching that crossover, that the foundation is where the conduit to sort of engage with private companies in a way that the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department can't legislatively do.
Right.
And so what does that look like? Because you do get to work with some really cool people.
We do get to work with a lot of brands and a lot of people that are great. I love it. That's in my wheelhouse now. It's kind of one of my responsibilities. But it just depends on the brand and the partner. Like, for example, with you guys, you can offer us experiences where another brand might offer us product where, like, for example, Lone Star Beer, we just partnered with them and they're selling a Parks art line where they've got a print and a hat and a t-shirt and stickers and a Nalgene bottle with stickers.
Is that out right now?
Yeah, it just came out actually this week. So
we're putting the pressure on the time to turn around the show. Like we got 4 more of these to record before we can release it, but now we have definitely turned on the clock.
Yeah, so all the proceeds from those purchases of the Lone Star Beer merch will go to the foundation, which will go to parks.
Is there anything cool coming up in the future that you can tell us about?
That's the thing,
secret sauce
that you can actually talk about.
Ooh, yeah, the stuff you can tell us about.
Hey, where's that hot lamp? Can we just
Yeah, I know. That's a rough question right now.
Maybe not the partnerships, but you got Dove stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the Stewards, we've got tons of good stuff coming up. Yeah. In April, we're doing a Devil's River trip.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Very excited about that with Fatties on the Fly.
Yeah, very good friends.
Ben Tabor,
awesome. Very good friends of ours,
Yeah, so we're very excited about that. And then we've got the big dove hunt coming up in September. It's our 10th anniversary of Stewards of the Wild this year.
Wow.
Which is awesome. Yeah, years. 1 decade.
10 years.
I know. I've only been involved with it for half that or maybe a little less than that.
It's been about 5 years since you got involved?
I think it's been 4 or 5 years, yeah.
Was that your point of entry to the foundation?
It was. I didn't even know what the foundation was when I first joined Stewards. My friend Lily Keys got me into it. She's the editor of Lone Star Outdoor News.
I heard she moved to Alaska or something?
She I don't know if this is out, but she is moving this summer. I just had dinner with her. She is moving to Alaska. Her husband's family lives there, and so it's perfect for them.
She's still going to be running Lone Star Outdoor News from Alaska.
Know.
Do you know
That's
anything
a question
about
for
that?
her.
We're going to have
That's
to.
a good question.
Maybe we're going to have to get her over here and talk about that.
Yeah.
Put the hot lamp on her.
But she's done a great job.
So she brought you in about 4 or 5 years ago?
She brought me in. Yeah. The first happy hour I went to was at DSC. And Modern Huntsman was there.
Oh, cool. Oh, Tyler Sharp.
Love was there, guy. Who we've been working with quite a bit.
Love you.
Same. But we actually just did a podcast with him, or I did. And
nice. Was Byron there?
Byron was there. Yes, Byron. It was great.
Love him too.
And David, the new executive director of, or the new director of Texas Parks and Wildlife Department.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
very nice. I haven't met him yet.
He's wonderful.
He's got some big shoes to fill.
He does, but he's doing a great job.
Nice.
He's doing a great job. It's a very unique job.
So this actually would be really cool. So talk about, so you went to a cocktail hour.
I did. It was a social hour.
Yeah. And so that's led to you being full-time now in the conservation space.
Right. And I grew up outside. I grew up hunting, fishing, hiking, camping. Some of my favorite memories are me and my family camping and waking up in the morning and having coffee when I was 8 years old, which was strange. By the fire.
Not in Texas.
Oh yeah. But those are some of the most beautiful memories I have. Watching me and my brother watching the hummingbirds, around our campsite and things like that. So It was always a natural thing for me to work in conservation, but I never put that together until a few years ago, I guess, when I got involved with Stewards. So yeah, I mean, it was my entry point. Stewards was my entry point, and now I'm, a conservation leader. I'd like to say I'm trying.
You 100% are.
I'm trying.
No question.
But that's one of the other purposes of Stewards of the Wild is to create, conservation leaders.
Yeah, and it worked with you.
It's working.
Clearly.
It's working. Yeah,
it's working. Check. It's doing the thing.
The machine is
doing
churning.
the thing. So, camping. What's your most? So you were talking about hummingbirds. So I feel like when you were talking about that, you had like a camping trip in mind that you remember.
Oh yeah.
What is the standout camping trip from your youth?
Well, it's not in Texas, so I feel like I can't talk about it.
Well, I mean, you're on this podcast, even though you're part of TP.
Okay.
Yeah. What is it?
It was in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure where. Somewhere on the Enchanted
remember.
Circle. Somewhere on the Enchanted Circle.
Cool.
Was it
which is still
Republic
my favorite
of
place
Texas,
to camp.
New Mexico?
Because that
No.
was Texas.
That was Texas.
That
You
was
know, I
Texas.
don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
you
that's
may
a good
have
point,
been in
Davin.
Texas.
Yeah,
and
you
not
could have
even
been.
known it.
I'm not really ready to let go of New Mexico. I feel like it's still ours. You belong to us, New Mexico. You're like, wow,
Oh
that's
no.
wow.
Okay,
Such a
so I
Texan
was
thing
in
to say.
Texas. But yeah, no, it was in New Mexico around the Enchanted Circle, somewhere near Taos. Near
cool. It's so
Taos, I know
beautiful out
that.
there. It really
Yeah,
is.
and it was just like, I mean, my dad is the biggest fisherman I've ever met. And
Oh, nice.
he was fly fishing, I remember, on the river. My mom was too. My mom is a better fisherman than him now.
Always,
It's great.
Yeah.
always.
Yep.
That's the way it
It's
works.
love-
My
Lovely.
wife is a better fisherman. than me.
Her karma kicks in, I think.
Mhm.
She's got good karma. But yeah, that camping trip, I think we had a pop-up camper or something. We were all cramped in there or something.
Huh.
But I remember my brother and my dad set up a hummingbird feeder, one of those red feeders with sugar water.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And I remember my brother and we just sat there for like an hour and a half and we just watched the hummingbirds come to it. It was just such a, I don't know, just a beautiful moment.
That's what
the
it's
natural
about.
television, if
Yeah.
you will.
Oh
right?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The best kind of television.
Is what's cool about that is some people get that with their parents, and then some people don't.
Right.
Some people
Right.
don't get that moment, and
yeah.
you grow up in the suburbs and you grow up disconnected from nature. And that's one of the things that I think is cool about Stewards is it opens the doorway for people to get that experience
Yeah.
at a later date in life.
So many stewards come from a family that never went outside. They never did anything outdoors. And now they're addicted to whatever it may be, fishing, hunting, camping,
Yeah. It's that nature appreciation where conservation begins. What's your most
for
memorable camping, like early camping experience now?
Oh, my parents always took us camping when we were kids. We at
Minnesota?
In Minnesota,
You betcha.
don't you know?
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
And they always made it a point to travel outside of Minnesota. We did a lot of camping inside Minnesota, but my most memorable moment was probably a trip to Mount Rushmore. We went to this crazy place called KOA.
The KOA.
I don't know if you've ever heard of.
No, is that like just in one state?
No, they're all over the place.
Holy cow.
They're all over. But we stopped at a KOA. It was the most magical place. They had a pool. It had but it was cool. It had like this rock face that had these kind of cave tunnels on it, and we were playing with other kids around the area, throwing pine cones at each other, and we had a great pine cone war. Well, we lost track of time, and us kids missed the tour bus to Mount Rushmore. We got in so much trouble.
Were your parents on the bus?
No, they missed it too.
Okay.
I think my dad took my sister and my brother and me. We got in so much trouble. But I mean, we were always.
But you didn't see Mount Rushmore, but you enjoyed nature.
We did the next day. They took us the next day. Yeah.
Well,
But it
What
was a
was
matter
better,
of just
the
like
Pine
seeing,
Cone War or-
just the what's that?
What was better, the Pine Cone War or Mount Rushmore?
Was
Pine
better.
Cone War.
Of
Mount
course.
Rushmore was pretty amazing, but
Hey.
I mean, I no regrets, right? It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun, but it was all those, that whole trip out there. It was the experience,
Historical sites are important.
They are.
Almost as important as natural areas. No, they really are important. We have a lot of those in Texas.
absolutely.
The historical parks.
Oh, we
are
do.
really cool.
A ton.
My most memorable camping experience is on the beach with my mom. And we went down to see my grandfather, and I just remember he had like crab traps out. He was such a
What beach was this? Wait, yeah.
Port Aransas. This is Port Aransas.
Port Aransas, okay.
Yeah, Port Aransas. So down at Port Aransas, and we're going down there, and so I grew up, as a kid, obviously tan kid, a melanonin kid, but I've got the tan. And my mom was very white, was like, I don't need to put sunscreen on my kid.
Oh no!
I got the worst damn sunburn.
No.
And I just remember this because I remember being in like the little beach motel. No, actually, no, we camped. We camped in a camper, and I remember being in this camper, and I was like, it feels like there's fire ants biting my skin.
Oh no!
That was the first time I had a sunburn. I think I was like 4 or 5.
Oh,
also, the first time that you
kid.
realized that my parents don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
when
my
you come
mom-
to that realization,
Come on,
like,
Mom.
My mom
Oh,
did
wait a
not
minute.
know what she was doing. She's like, he does
but
not
they
need
still,
sunscreen.
I'm sure you still didn't know it at the time, right? But eventually you like grow up and look
I
back
feel
at
like-
like moments like, oh my gosh.
That may have been the day that she lost a little of my trust.
Oh,
Just kidding, Mom.
well, I hope she never made that
Just
mistake
kidding, Mom.
again.
I love you just like I love the kids. Yeah, anyways.
Just ragging
So
on everyone.
that's what I do. I pull no punches. No. But yeah, I do. I remember we were in a camper actually. So it was camper camping. But I just remember like the whole experience. I can almost even like smell the salt air from that. It was really great.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, speaking of historical sites.
Hysterical sites.
Historical
Historical
Oh my
parks.
goodness. Same thing.
Historical parks. And this is the centennial for
It
the
is.
park system.
Yeah, this is the 100th year of state parks in Texas.
Yeah.
Very exciting. We've got the newest state park opening. Hopefully we have a soft opening later this year. Palo Pinto Mountain State Park.
Oh, man.
75 miles from Fort Worth. Super close. It's amazing.
Foundation played a role in that, right?
Foundation played a big role. Yeah, we're still playing a role, still raising money for the construction there.
So is that going to open before Powderhorn even?
I think so.
Wow.
I don't know for sure. Don't
quote
quote me, but I am pretty sure.
Did the foundation help purchase the land for that? Was that how did that all come together?
So
And we won't hold you to it. You've been there a year, and this is probably
I know
not. This is
but
not your lane.
Yes,
maybe,
they
but
did
like-
play a role, but it was privately owned, and
Okay.
there was some mishaps. There were some criminal activities that happened.
on it.
James, the superintendent, can tell you much better. No.
we're gonna track you
Well, I don't know if
on
it
the
was on it
podcast,
or the
James.
owners.
Check him
on the
You
podcast.
need James, the superintendent of the park,
Yeah.
to tell you the story.
Okay.
But anyway, so it came into the possession of the department ultimately.
Cool.
That's cool.
That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So
It's great to
yeah.
get more public land. Getting more public
100%.
land is- and the Stewards plays a phenomenal role. And I think the impact of the Stewards, it's only been 10 years, which
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
it's been 10 years and it's only been 10
Yeah,
years at
yeah.
the same time.
Right?
But a decade, we will be, I think, feeling the effects of the Stewards for decades to come because
I hope so.
of the way you guys have affected and introduced people
Mhm.
to conservation
Mm-hmm.
in a indirect way sometimes.
Mhm.
Like the folks who came out here, they just came out to quail hunt, but
Yeah.
by the time we were finished, they had to hear me talk about grass.
Geology.
like
Grass
everybody who
and
comes
geology.
Geology, right.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
know that you guys were
Little
going to get this lesson.
hydrology.
But they love it.
Right.
That's the thing. They love it.
They're
They're
100%.
here for it.
They are here for it.
Yeah.
Like my good friend Ben Lou likes to say. From Michigan.
Yeah. They're
He's over
here
there
for
behind
it.
the camera, and he's here for it. And they're here. No, they really are. And it's been interesting to watch the Stewards over the past year. Definitely, you're directing pretty hard into the conservation model, and I really like it.
Trying.
You're doing it. I saw it at Bucksnag. I mean, you're doing a great job. I've seen the conversations that
Yeah.
are happening. It's pretty cool. Talk to us a little bit about, in the past year, you have definitely collaborated with private land and private clubs
Mm-hmm.
to provide access to stewards to have that aha moment that being in the outdoors is important. Talk to me about what that looks like.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, what do you want to know? There's so much.
So you have some big things that you do, like the dove hunt. Work with Justin Trail on that to make that happen. You know, and that's a huge amount of lift that goes into that.
I mean, I feel like everyone we work with, whether it's for like mentored hunting, mentored fishing, dove hunt, events like this, any kind of event, it's because the owner or person involved or whoever our connection is passionate about conservation or the outdoors just in general. And that's usually why things come to fruition.
Yeah, that's a Texas connection there.
Yeah.
I feel like the dove hunt, you guys really blew that up this past year.
We did.
Awesome to see.
It's the fundraiser for the program. I mean, it's the reason like I can keep doing my job, right? But we just wanted to make it bigger and better and make other people outside of the organization understand what Stewards is and why it's important. Why what we're doing is important, not the program itself, but just what we're doing is so important.
Yeah, and you had kind of everybody was there. I mean, Sightline was there, Duck Camp was there. Yeah, I mean, you got support.
We got Epic Western. We got Republic Ranches. I mean, we had so many supporters.
It's really cool.
It's really important that we have that support. Without that support, we can't do what we do, and we can't create conservation leaders, basically.
Yeah.
I think the landowners that we work with for the mentored hunting program, those are some of the best people. I mean, they just open up their homes, their land, their hearts to us and say, hey, come help us, show some people how to hunt and how to appreciate the land that we have.
Yeah. And I can speak to that as a landowner who opens the gate for the stewards and talk to, if anybody is a landowner who's, listening to this podcast or is consuming this information, or anybody wants to convey, as a landowner, it's critical to open the gate, and it's critical to have a conduit to get people on the land. And working with a program like Stewards, it's great because you guys bring people who are passionate about conservation out. It's almost like a vetted thing, where the people who are coming out are going to typically spend some point in time in conservation in the future, or at least have some conversations. And when I open the gate to people to come out to hunt, it doesn't matter if they ever hunt again, if they never quail hunt again, if they never do any of the things they do here again. Landowners benefit from this because people being connected and understanding why it's important to facilitate ranches staying as green spaces translates to votes. Votes that provide funding and provide the agricultural protections that we have to keep these places from becoming developed.
Yeah.
And so I always encourage all landowners, open your gate, get people out there, tell the story, let people understand.
Yeah, that's awesome. People have to get their hands, in the dirt to understand.
Dirty hands.
They've got to get their hands dirty to understand or love the outdoors and conservation.
Well, they need somebody to tell their story, right?
Yeah.
About their land. And because nobody knows their land better than that landowner,
right?
And their family that goes back generations. They've put their hands in the dirt for many, many years.
Right.
And they are very knowledgeable.
Dirty hands. My hands are so dirty still from the hunt.
You have a blood on them.
I do.
That's blood.
That's the thing about the bunkhouse is we're just like we're coming straight up. I have a feather.
I know. I'm like full of sweat
on my hand.
This is a little ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous
in here.
Yeah.
But it is. It's important to talk to the people who know about their land a little bit more than just like, I know it in theory. No. I mean, Josh is very knowledgeable about all of the flora and fauna that is on his land and why it's important and why they work together. And it's very important to him to, and to everybody for him to share that knowledge with everyone.
Yeah. And we need more people like you, I think.
Oh my Lord. The whole world would be in trouble if there was more people like me.
in some ways like you, who are knowledgeable about The flana. What did I just say?
The floor and the
I know,
fauna.
it's the hog's knuckle kicking in. Don't worry about it.
Fauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more people like you who are willing to open their gates.
What I think is cool is, Scott was at Bucksnag.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was cool to see him out here again.
Yeah.
And then we had another steward, Connor, who had come out here for a pollinator garden install that we did with Desert Door, and we had our friend Jacob Allen Jager come out and play music, and so it was cool to see Connor out here from the Austin chapter again. Actually, I wasn't even here for the pollinator install. I forgot where I was. I was traveling or something, but it was cool to have him out engaging with the land in a different way. He came and donated his time to put that pollinator garden in. And then he was out here and able to spend some time like upland hunting. And so I think the more program, I wish we could like form it into a formal program where you have these engagements with ranches where people could have multi contacts with them.
Yeah. I mean, the mentor hunting program is that formal. But I think beyond that, we need more beyond that. It doesn't have to just be hunting.
Yeah. It could be non-consumptive. It could be foraging or hiking or,
bird watching,
or primitive skills or stargazing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Anything really.
Do they call it astrology? No, astronomy.
Astronomy. Astrology is like I'm a Virgo.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. I'm a perfectionist.
I'll get busted saying astrology all the time.
All the time.
Look, I love astrology. Look at those stars. Matthew. The look of disapproval from Matthew.
Yeah, he gives that look very well.
I thought it was really cool to see Mitch out here too. Mitch is pretty new to Stewards. He's from Fort Worth. He's got he apparently was a big golfer for a long time. Big golfer. But golf takes 4 or 5 hours. He had a baby, he and his wife, and he said, I can't do that any longer. I can't spend 5 hours away. My wife's going to kill me or whatever. So he started shooting clays, and then he found Stewards, and now he's out here shooting birds. He never started shooting clays with the intent of shooting birds, but now he's here, and now he understands, the land, and
he left understanding little blue stem, big blue stem, riparian zones.
So he has more of an appreciation now for the outdoors. And he never intended on doing that, but that's how it played out.
We're going to have to confirm that with him when we go over and Davin makes his cocktail. Let me do some other stuff.
Confirm what?
Right, yeah.
We're going to have to confirm his understanding of the land.
Oh, yes.
He'll definitely confirm.
Do you like Kentucky blue? What is the grass in here? Or do you like little blue stem better? Which
is
one?
privet an invasive species? You need to know this.
Invasive, yeah. I'm stoked to have you out here. I mean, you've come out a couple times.
Yeah.
I've seen you at a couple of the other events this year. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're lucky to have you.
The first time I met you, Josh, was the first time I officially introduced myself was at that movie night at Deep in the Heart. The screening.
Deep in the Heart, that's right.
And I was really nervous. I was like, that's Josh. And now it's so funny. But I was nervous, Josh. And I was like, oh, that's Josh. Okay.
Here he is again. Here he comes.
No, but thank you for having me out here. I mean, it's been great. It's been a treat.
Yeah.
Spoke Hollow is amazing. And
we love what you guys are doing, and anything we can do to support, we're always here. I'm going to have you come co-host a little bit.
I would love that. Yeah.
Kind of a pseudo Stewards Live co-host to bring back the band type sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe we'd have to drag Rodney Franklin out here.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I liked him a lot.
Yeah. Rodney Franklin is awesome.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
We're trying to get him to speak at Wild Night.
Oh, really?
See. Yeah.
Oh, when is Wild Night?
It's April 28th in Austin at the Zilker Lodge.
Is it sold out as of right
no,
now?
not yet. No.
Okay, it'll probably be sold
Tickets
out by
left.
the time this airs. Hopefully, we'll get this out there before the 28th. But that was my first Stewards event.
That was my first.
Oh, really?
Event.
Yeah, we went together.
What year?
We went together.
Yeah, we went together. We went together.
Wait, so after you met on Bumble,
it was LinkedIn. You crazy cat. You. That's our joke. Yeah, no, it was our first event with Stewards. Man, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember
Davin won a
who
gun.
was there that night?
Davin won a gun.
Davin won a gun.
Oh, you won a gun. Wow.
I won a gun. I won.
Yeah.
I won my first over under.
Yeah.
And I needed one because I was obviously,
Here.
here.
Yeah.
I had sold all of my hunting gear after moving from Utah to Texas.
Okay.
And so, I won a gun. I was like, what perfect timing.
I was jealous. I was super. I was like, damn it!
Well,
I want to win a gun.
Oh, you think you're jealous? How do you think I feel standing around all these raffles and I'm like, wow, that's an amazing item, and I can't enter because I work for them.
The strategy is just putting all of your tickets on that one thing that you want. That's always been my strategy. Just like, don't put here. Like if you see one thing, just stick to it. Throw it all in.
That's the way to live your
Okay.
life
That's
right there. That's a
what I'm
life
saying.
model.
Throw it all in. Don't do too much of a. I say that right. I say that. I'm wearing like so many different hats.
Bubble gum. Bubble gum's going to be the next big thing. I am invested in Hubba Bubba all the way. All my money is there.
What are those skate shoes?
Enron. I'm invested
the roller
what
skate
are they called?
shoes.
What are they called?
I don't know, but I'm putting it all on them.
What are those things called?
Rollies. No.
Rollies?
No.
Heelys.
What? Heelys.
Thank you, Ben.
Ben Lou from the back with the Heelys. Save Heelys.
I'm putting all my tickets on Heelys.
It had Heelys.
Heelys.
Dang it.
Yeah. No. Negative.
Oh, God.
No. Yeah, we did. It was
a lot of
wild
fun.
night. And
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad.
I really enjoyed it. And
Good.
I want to try to make it to this one for sure.
Yeah, April 28th, Friday,
I think I'm around.
6 p.m., 5:30 for you guys can be at our VIP happy hour.
What happens
We'll
at the
invite
VIP thing? What do you get with the VIP?
You help set up.
You get a 100-acre parcel of land. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yes, I am in.
Yes.
I
At
wish.
Spoke Hollow. Nope.
On the moon.
No, it's just a time. It's just a time for our partners and people to mingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Before
I
the
met up
craze.
with Duck Camp at that. And that's when
good.
That's the thing is
we
it's-
started working
it's the
together a little bit
networking.
more.
Right. And that's a huge piece of Stewards is the networking.
Right, yeah.
It's so important. No matter what line of work you're in, you will probably find someone who's in a similar line of work or who can help you and you can help them.
Right.
So
If you're a Texan and you're from age 21,
21 to 45.
45, and you're not
We
a
won't check
steward,
your ID
like,
unless you're younger than 21.
I got kicked out.
Yeah.
I've aged out, but I still get to go do cool stuff. I appreciate being able to be the old guy there. If you're not a steward, you should be. I mean, it's definitely, if you're into the outdoors, if you care about conservation, if you want to learn, if you want opportunities,
If you want to meet people.
if you want to meet like-minded people who are into those things, it is the thing to do 100%. And we as Texans are very lucky to have an organization like it because many other states do not have anything like
they
this
don't.
at all.
They
You know,
don't.
they may have a lot of public land, they may have a lot of access, but they do not have these type of funneling programs that really, really bring you into the conservation world. And not just from a legislative vote this way, do that thing, because there are a lot of organizations out there that you join and you get like 1,000 emails telling you, vote now. There's this legislative bill. You got to come to action. They're very important organizations to have those too.
Right.
But that's not what Stewards
I
is.
think that's the coolest thing about TPWF is we are an unbiased organization. We don't take a side. So we're here for everyone. We're just trying to make the Texas a better place.
Yeah.
Well, and the
You
cool
know,
stuff
really.
that TPWF does, like Gear Up for Game Wardens. You know, what are the other big highlights before we wrap this thing up? You got Gear Up for Game
Gear
Wardens.
for Game Wardens. We've got TFFC, Texas Freshwater Fisheries Center.
Yeah, that's a cool
That was hard to
place.
get out.
I've been there.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're making sure we have healthy fish, across the state. What else are we working on?
Is the Land Steward Awards, is that back on
Lone Star
nowadays?
Steward-
Yeah.
Lone Star Land Steward Awards it's an annual event. It's actually a TPWD event,
Is it?
but we raise money for it. And that's actually happening May 25th this year in Austin. But it's an awesome program. I mean, we honor private landowners who are doing great conservation work And that's the goal of the program, and it's awesome. So that's in May. What else are we doing? We're raising money. Centennial year is our main focus right now. We're raising money for that. We're going to do like a Tundra giveaway and a lot of fun stuff for
When's
people.
that happening?
I think it's beginning in the spring.
Oh,
Okay.
Cool.
Going through the fall. So keep
so
an
it's
eye
going to
out
be
for
a
that.
long tail.
Yes,
So
yes.
good chance that if you're listening to this, like it's going on.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
still going
Figure
on.
out how to get a Tundra.
Sign up.
For sure.
Right.
Go
Put
to
all
the
your tickets in
go
that
to the
one.
foundation website.
all your
All your tickets in that one.
Put all your
Right.
tickets in that one.
Right.
Big fan of the Tundras.
Yeah. Well,
But another thing, it's great. We're raising money for all the state parks. All the state parks have a project that we're raising money for. But beyond that, the state parks need funding for maintenance all the time. So there's so many things across the state that we're doing. And if you're interested, you can always visit our website and get in touch with me or someone else. And
yeah.
we can help you, direct your funds.
Well, we look forward to having you out more often. We look forward to being able to support the Stewards. And I want to thank you for being here. This has been
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Air cheers across the room.
Cheers. Cheers.